Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's sports ticker. After holding their first scrimmage of the preseason camp yesterday, the Nebraska Cornhuskers were off today. Practice 10 will be tomorrow. We hear from defensive coordinator Eric Chinander afterwards, and we'll have a full report for you tomorrow night here on the show. After having their media day Saturday, Husker Volleyball held not one but two practice sessions today. We will hear from setter Nicklin Hames later on the program tonight. Husker Soccer is going to hold a pair of exhibition matches this week. Up first will be the Coyotes from South Dakota. That'll be a Wednesday night match at Huebner Stadium starting at 7 o'clock. Admission is free for the match, and we'll be doing Sports Nightly live from Huebner that night. Checking the baseball scoreboard, one game underway. The Battle of Ohio. Cleveland leads the Reds 3-1. They're in the top of the third. Later tonight, the Yankees in Kansas City to battle the Royals. The Brewers in Chicago to take on the Cubs. The White Sox Minneapolis to battle the Twins. It'll be the Marlins and Padres getting together out in San Diego on a very light schedule on the big league scoreboard. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends it past me, goes off. It's over the net. Shut back by Stubrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker Volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to another week of Sports Nightly. So glad you're here with us on the Huskers Radio Network. And a hot time in the Old City today. It is scorching hot outside as they transform Memorial Stadium from a football stadium to a concert venue. There's all kinds of trucks around here today.
Moving very quickly to get it all done. I've been told there's a GoPro tracking it, so be on the lookout for that at some point.
That'll be neat.
Yeah,
That'll be
you
neat.
can see how it's transformed. But yeah, it's going to be a wild week around here getting ready for that concert.
Sure is. They've got the stadium floor all covered with some kind of planks out there that they've laid out there.
Yeah, they had pulled those in. So I came up here on Sunday for the Teamworks event up in the suites, and they had kind of pulled them out, and they started working on them right after practice. But to put the chairs on top of those, because those go on top of the turf, and then the chairs on top of those. So
Garth performed in Kansas City over the weekend. Then he's doing this one in Lincoln Saturday night. It's going to be a sellout crowd. And you're right, it's just a transformation going on here for Memorial Stadium. So the Husker football team won't be able to use their home field for a week. They'll have to practice on the outdoor practice fields, and that's fine. That's normally where they do most of it. They did do a scrimmage inside the stadium yesterday, and I mentioned that earlier in the ticker. Today was off. It was quiet around the facility today. Second off day that they've had since practice has gotten underway, and probably glad with all the heat today that they weren't doing something today.
Yeah, it was. It's smoking out there, and on the turf. Ooh, yeah, no, thank you.
It would be even this morning. I was out, went for a walk this morning. There was not much air to breathe.
Yeah, it was like humid. It wasn't just hot. It was like a sticky hot too.
Very, very hot. We'll get some reaction about the scrimmage tomorrow. We'll hear from Eric Chinander, some of the defensive coaches tomorrow. We'll have a full report for you on the program tomorrow night. Everybody anxious to hear how did that first scrimmage go for this team. Again, tomorrow will be practice 10. You get 25 before you open the season. Coming up in now less than 3 weeks away for that opener. You and I were over at the Devaney Center on Saturday for the Volleyball Media Day. A lot of smiles, a lot of excitement as they get ready to launch their camp.
Yeah, in a normal summer leading into a season and getting that place packed again. I mean, every, player that you talk about just the advantage that Devaney brings, and we've talked about Lauren and Lexi probably coming back because they wanted to go out the right way with the fans, supporting them. So just getting back to normal, a normal feel for them, I feel like, and probably going to be a pretty tough preseason.
Sure is. John Cook was pretty open about nobody has a starting spot. Everybody's got to compete. He goes, we have a lot of really good players, and I'm going to play the best players. Probably a bit of a shot across the bow to the veterans that these freshmen aren't going to be messing around, and I will play them if they beat you out.
And these freshmen are not scared. They are not scared to come in and compete. And a couple of them were actually here in the spring. We talked to Allie Batenhorst, who was here in the spring, so got a good feel of it already. And then they've played some competitive volleyball this summer with Team USA, so they're ready to roll, and they are not intimidated by any means.
Not at all. So 2 practice sessions today. They have the red-white scrimmage a week from Saturday at the Devaney Center, and there'll be folks in the building for that. It's a 6 o'clock first serve on the 21st of August. Well, are you suffering from Olympic withdrawal yet? It's all over. The games are done.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. What are we going to have on the TV behind us? I'm kind of good now. You know, I had my fill, and I'm ready for football now.
You're done
Football
with the
and
race, walking, and
Yes.
kayaking, and some of those.
Yes, I'm out on that. I'm good. And the horse dancing.
The horse
and
dancing. Oh, my goodness. You know, Bruce Springsteen, was it not his daughter, would it have been? It was like his niece that she medaled.
I
She
think
got
it
like
was
a
his
second.
daughter.
Might have been his daughter.
It was his daughter.
Wow. Yeah, that was good. Cool for
Yeah.
her. Fantastic. The United States did roar back and ended up having the most gold medals in the games. They got some late wins in track and field, but they also got the team sport wins with men's and women's basketball, and volleyball took the gold.
Oh, what a win. Did you watch the whole?
I did.
Yeah. I'm telling you, when that last point, it was Jordan Larson.
Jordan Larson, yeah.
I got emotional. I mean, that was just so big for, Team USA. They had never done that. They had never won a gold, and everything that they had kind of been through. And, man, just a huge moment for them. And Lauren Stivrins tweeted about, how women's volleyball is so dominant in the United States, and hopefully, America appreciates what they did this summer at the Olympics, winning beach volleyball and indoor volleyball for the first time. Just an incredible story, and it was really cool to be on this side of it now this summer, where I, was covering a team that had ties to here. That was so cool. So it made me more invested in it as well.
I was shocked that the United States has not won that before. Didn't that surprise you a little bit?
I mean, I just think some of those other countries like Brazil, which, USA just dominated them, and some of those other countries we've talked about leading up to it have been kind of the dominant, but they've been there, they've medaled, 5 times?
Right.
Silver and bronze, but no gold.
Good for them. Jordan Larson is a part of this incoming class for the Nebraska Sports Hall of Fame. She will be back for the Northwestern football weekend, which is that first Saturday of October. So her class that's being put in the Husker Sports Hall of Fame will get honored that weekend. So she will be back for a football game. So Husker fans, I'm sure she'll be around town quite a bit that week. So we'll have a chance to really welcome her back with a gold medal. Hopefully we can get Justine and Kelsey to come back. Maybe that same weekend we can do something to all 3 of them. But
How about Justine, too? Gosh, she was named the most outstanding libero of the tournament.
She was great.
They went over and over about how important she was to that run, but Jordan Larson had a silver, bronze, and a gold.
About that,
if
all
that was
3.
her last one, what a way to go out.
And a good chance that it might be. For Justine, no. I think Justine has another Olympic Games in her future. And so you go with that. And, hey, shout out to Tyler Hildebrand, who's the Husker assistant volleyball coach, who was he was in charge of the beach volleyball teams. As you mentioned, they won the gold, too. So, he doesn't get the gold, but he coached the gold. That certainly means a lot.
And April Ross tweeted, so Nebraska put out a tweet about, congratulations to our guy, Tyler Hildebrand, who coaches don't get gold medals, which is just a travesty, but they, tweeted out congratulations to our guy, and April Ross quote tweeted it and said, we could not have done it without him. So huge impact on beach volleyball is Tyler Hildebrand, and I mean, you can just tell how well he is loved and respected in that sport.
Fantastic. Really good for him and for the 3 Huskers that did get gold medals off that U.S. women's indoor volleyball team there. Now Jessica can catch back up on her sleep because you were getting up so early, you're staying up late, your body clock was all out of whack.
Yeah, I was out after. It was a good run, and it ended on a great way with the Olympic gold medal for volleyball, but I'm ready to move on.
It's on to the next game. Those 2 weeks really help kind of fill a void in the sports calendar because it's a pretty dry end of July into August. Now you do have NFL camps and NFL preseason games, and we're inside of 3 weeks for Husker football. We're inside of 2 weeks for the red-white scrimmage for volleyball. We talked about soccer going on with a couple of exhibitions on Wednesday and Friday out at Hibner. We'll be out there doing our show as they drop the ball with South Dakota on Wednesday night. So looking forward to all of that. All right, here's what we have on the show tonight. We'll continue our position breakdowns. We're about to wrap all of that. Sean Beckton, Husker tight ends coach, will join us. I know he loves his group. We'll let him talk about particularly two guys who have a chance to be NFL tight ends in the future, in Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek. We'll hear about some of the young pups in his room as well that he's very excited about. We'll hear from Austin Allen later this hour as well. And in hour number 2, we mentioned we were over at Media Days. Nicklin Hames, the setter for the Cornhuskers, she will join us. And we finally are going to be able to track down the elusive Delano Benton tonight.
Let's go. I gave him a hard time, too, for, hanging out with Drake and putting us on the back burner. But he was so great and, just a great interview, well-spoken, just gave so much props to, the staff here and what he did in his year here at Nebraska to set him up for this. But, yeah, he was awesome. So that was a fun conversation. Yeah,
we'll look forward to playing that for you coming up in hour number 2. So full show tonight. Want your participation as well. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Or you can fire off a text, or if you have a laptop in front of you and want to dial up our YouTube channel, we do stream the show every night. There's a chat room in there that folks have a great time conversing with each other. And if you have a question for us, you can fire one away in that chat room as well. More of the show straight ahead.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse Buick GMC and find your next vehicle. Our knowledgeable sales team is eager to help you find a vehicle. Plus, get you on the road faster with our streamlined sales and buying process that you can start online. We have over 100 new Buick and GMC models with the features you want at a smart price. Visit our indoor showroom or shop online anytime at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Experience the difference and shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS. So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Husker fans, stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Big Red on Facebook and Twitter. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding NU athletics, including game results, ticket promotions, and Husker prizes. Log on to also follow several sports-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Become a fan today at facebook.com/Huskers and twitter.com/Huskers to join and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. We continue on now with our position breakdowns, talking some tight ends with Husker tight end coach Sean Beckton. And Coach, just like we talked about with Barrett Rood and the Will Honus injury coming late in spring, same thing happened to your really talented true freshman Thomas Fedoni. I know your heart probably broke when Thomas got hurt in that late practice session.
Yes, I was. Obviously, the kid has worked extremely hard, came in early, really picked up on the offensive scheme of things and the technical aspect of playing on as Division I tight end had just finally started to slow down, and all the technical aspects of blocking and running routes. He just had started understanding where it was second nature for him, and then that happened, and now he's still got a baseline. The biggest thing for him is just the mental aspect of recovering, doing everything he needs to get done in the training room daily. He's constantly down there, so I check in on him. Had to go to a camp a couple weeks ago and call in and FaceTime, and he's in there getting treatment. So he has a great schedule. He has a schedule also trying to still continue mentally for us with the football aspect of things, watching video. We can't do anything with him physically yet with him, but in his mind he wants to keep himself fresh as far as in the playbook. So I'm excited where he's going to end up being, hopefully at the end of the year for us.
That's what I was going to ask you. Up until the injury, were you impressed with what you saw? Do you feel like this is going to be a guy that can really help the Huskers down the road?
Yes. We put a goal on him to try to be back the last 4 games of the season, and he's working hard to attain that goal and reach that goal. And down the stretch of the season, hopefully we'll be able to get him, maybe some opportunity to come back and help the football team and still be able to retain this redshirt year. He's going to be a tremendous player for the Huskers. He's all as advertised, as a prospect coming from Council Bluffs High School over in Iowa. We're excited about him.
The good news is, with that injury, you've got a couple of real veteran players in Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek. Give me your thoughts about them going into this season, and what are your expectations for those two guys?
Well, I've had a bunch of NFL teams already contact me about those guys, and it kind of shows you where those guys are being projected as far as people having interest in them right now. So, but they obviously they got to continue to work. Our goals for those guys is become leaders of the team, starting with the offensive side of the ball. They've already captured the leadership role in the tight end room. I want to expand that a little bit more on the offensive side, and then venture out into the rest of the football team. Those guys are gifted, talented tight ends. They can do it all. We just need for those guys to be more vocal as far as right now, where we're not around the kids as much, with the limitation for us, the NCAA rules, with us being around them in the summer on the field and whatnot. So all the different things that we have set up for those guys to work, voluntarily on the football field, those guys are kind of, or the guys that may less spearheading that along with Adrian and some of the guys on the defense side of the ball. But really excited about where those guys have really grown to, particularly Austin Allen. what he's done with his body, over the years. And then Travis, same thing. He was a kid that, had a lot of raw talent, and he's really worked extremely hard on all facets of the game and really improved his skill set.
With the injury to Thomas, any thought of maybe getting Chris Hickman back in your room? He's kind of bounced back and forth between your room and the wide receiving room, but he's played some tight end here.
Well, I'm excited about him. Obviously, we recruited him as a tight end, and then we needed some help at receiver, and he slid back over. He came back over with a big smile on his face, and, I really like working with Chris, when he first got here, helped recruit him, and giving him an opportunity to come back into our room. He's best buddies with Travis and Austin, so it was more of a, natural fit for him to come back. Now, we've got a lot of work to do as far as trying to get his weight back up to where he can be able to be a point of attack tight end for us. He's already got the skill set at receiver, but he's a relentless, hard-nosed kid at 200. I think he's up to 210 pounds now. So our goal for him is to try to get up to 215 by the end of the summer, and then continue to maintain that weight and see if we can utilize him in a selective role throughout the season next year.
Visiting with Husker tight ends coach Sean Beckton here on our position breakdown. We talked about Thomas earlier, but he wasn't the only tight end in that class. James Carney, also a member of this football team, and A.J. Rollins, who just got here a few weeks ago. Talk about those two incoming freshmen for you.
Well, James Carney was a limited this spring. He had a shoulder surgery right after his senior year in high school, and he's progressed himself back to where we feel comfortable with him being able to do everything this fall when we report back for training camp. Right now, he's really improved his upper body physique, just kind of watching him a little bit in the weight room and being around him a little bit this summer. He looks to be, as far as some of the things that reports that we've gotten, he's really looked at to be more of has really improved his strength levels. He could not lift because of his shoulder injury early on throughout the spring football, and now he's full bore 100%. So you can see the gains he's made, and then his lower half has also improved. So I'm really, really excited to see where he ends up when the fall, spring, in the summer conditioning program is over, and he's got the speed. I think we clocked him right around 4.6 something, at 230 pounds, when he first got here. So we're excited about where he is. And then A.J. Rollins, he's as advertised as far as athletically. He can jump well. He's stronger than you think, far as, in the weight room, just talking to the weight coaches. So really excited about where he's going to be for us in the mix for us, our tight end depth in the fall.
I want to ask you about a couple one walk-on, Nate Borkature, who was pretty impressive in the spring game, made some nice plays. I know you like having him in your room.
Yes, he's basically, I've had my eye on him since he arrived here last year. Obviously, we have his brother Ian on the team as a walk-on lineman who's improved also. He's come from a great family. He's really been a great receiving tight end for us. Ever since he's arrived on campus, you can just see his natural ability there. And he's the focus for him this spring was to improve his blocking, and he's made tremendous strides there. So it's going to be interesting to see where, with Thomas down early on, who comes out of that group of guys with Nate Borkature, James Carney, and then A.J. Rollins. Those three guys have to give us some depth there, and I'm really excited about all of them. And it's going to be a great competition and see who comes out of the mix there to give us a little bit more depth with Thomas down.
Well, have a great camp and enjoy the competition. I know as coaches, there's nothing better than having good competition out there.
Yes, that's one of the things that we strive in our room. The top guy, we're treated just like the last guy in the room. John Goodwin is another walk-on kid that's really improved a lot, and and they all know, that the competition in that room, and we all help each other, and from the top guy to the bottom guy there. And we're excited about where the tight end room here is going here at the University of Nebraska.
Sean Beckton, Husker tight ends coach, with us here on Sports Sunday. Boy, every practice there's usually a couple of NFL scouts around, and their eyes are always kind of drawn to the tight end group, because I think both Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek are guys that could play on Sunday.
They stick out for sure when you step out on that football field. I thought it was interesting or funny when on the Big Ten show today, when they were asking Adrian, they brought up the tight ends and thought that could be a pretty big bright spot. And those are two guys that Adrian's really been spending a lot of time with. Probably could be a couple of guys that he really feels comfortable throwing the ball to, is it a safety blanket or whatever it might be in certain situations.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, and they're easy to spot. They're quarterbacks. You love those big bodies that you can put it anywhere out there, and they're going to be able to go get it. Austin had 18 catches a year ago. That was again in an 8-game season, not the full 12. I think he's going to double that this year. I really do. I think they're going to target those guys a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they're tough to match up with. Not everybody has that kind of size. In secondary, you can get some matchup problems. But yeah, with Austin Allen, we're going to hear from him coming up. But it seems like on the highlights that are posted from the social media account, he seems to be making a lot of plays in camp.
Sure does. And people read a lot into those highlights every day that go out. Oh, there he is again. That guy showed up again. Probably read way too much into those things than when they need to. Jessica just teased it. We're going to hear from Austin Allen, the big 6'8" tight end from Aurora. He is going to be joining us on the program coming up next.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Husker fans, stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Big Red on Facebook and Twitter. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding NU athletics, including game results, ticket promotions, and Husker prizes. Log on to also follow several sports-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Become a fan today at facebook.com/Huskers and twitter.com/Huskers to join and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse Buick GMC and find your next vehicle. Our knowledgeable sales team is eager to help you find a vehicle. Plus, get you on the road faster with our streamlined sales and buying process that you can start online. We have over 100 new Buick and GMC models with the features you want at a smart price. Visit our indoor showroom or shop online anytime at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Experience the difference and shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
We're back, Sports Hotline Monday night, 402-413-2400. The number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We're also streaming the program each night on our YouTube channel. You can jump on that and watch the program, and there's a chat room available in there as well. Mentioned, as hot as it is today, heat indexes in Lincoln were well over 100. No football practice for the Big Red today. Today was the first day for the high school kids in the state to go practice for fall sports. How about that?
Oh, yikes.
So football, softball, probably cross country. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Well, welcome to the new season. How
That's
about
why
that?
I played an indoor sport.
Man, got to hydrate. Crazy stuff. All right, we heard from Sean Beckton in the last segment, Huskers tight ends coach, and now you had a chance to catch up with his star pupil, and that's Austin Allen, who really emerged last year as one of the better tight ends in the conference.
Yeah, one of the guys I got to sit down with at the cave shoot. So if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you're going to get to see a lot in the background again. But since fall camp has started, it's what's been said about the tight end group is they've kind of been the leaders. They've been setting the tone, and that's kind of what Austin talked about, is wanting to be a leader. And I just kind of asked him overall how, this leadership group, what that does for a team in fall camp.
It's nice that there's guys that have been around here for 6 years, and unfortunately we've had some years that were not up to our standard. So they're leaving it all out there to get it all fixed, and I'm starting to feel the same way being a fifth year. I'm tired of winning 4 games a year, and we're going to get that fixed this year.
Yeah, how driven, how motivated is this group?
We're dying to get the fans back, and that's what fuels us, and I think that'll lead us to some more energy on the sideline, which will lead to more games. But we have a drive to win for the fans that pour their hearts into this state, into this program. So the fans really just fuel us, and we're excited to get them back.
Let's talk about the tight end room. You guys seem pretty close, pretty close knit. What is the dynamic like in that room?
Yeah, it starts with golf. I think if you're not a good golfer, then you're not up to our standard. No, it's not like that. But we're really close. But we do love to play golf, but that's not what we base it off of. We have a standard in the room that we're the hardest working position on the team, and we try to prove that every day in practice, and I think that brings us closer just because we hold each other to that standard.
How much do you kind of, I guess, feed off of each other, push each other to be better, to be your best on the field when there is that kind of competition in the room?
Yeah, I mean, at any given time, anybody can play in the game at the tight end position. So I have to hold Nate Borkshire to the same standard that I'm holding Travis Vokalek, because at any time, Nate, if I get hurt, Travis gets hurt, hopefully we don't, Nate might have to step into the game. Chris Hickman might have to step into the game. So we have to hold them to the same standard, and we have to keep them there. We can't let them drop below, and then when they do, we have to pull them back up.
Your role seems to have grown and grown and grown every single year. What are you kind of hoping for out of yourself personally going into this season?
Yeah, just my first goal is to be a captain. That's my first goal, to be as a leader on this entire team, and that's something that I think I am going to strive the most in this year is leadership, and I think that stems from what I did or what I learned from Jack Stoll last year in the tight end position, and I think that's going to feed into me this year for the whole offense.
Talked with Adrian and a couple of guys on the offense, and just again kind of a hunger to maybe execute better, all of the above. How do you guys go about kind of being the kind of offense that you want to be?
Yeah, so at any given time, a tight end could run any of the receiver routes. At any time, receiver can do a running back, and the running back can block like a tight end. So it's all interchangeable. So there's a lot of times if I see a receiver not doing what what they need to do. I can explain them with the technique that we're taught in the tight end room. So there's a drive throughout the whole offense to be better this year, and hopefully that's evident.
And talking with Adrian, he talked about his confidence is kind of at a different level going into this year. What have you seen from him as QB1, as one of the leaders of this team as well?
Yeah, you said just that. He is the leader of this team, and he showed it this offseason. He's trimmed down. He looks like a great quarterback, and I think it's going to be evident. He looks like he did his freshman year, and he's been a lot more vocal in the weight room and on the field. It's not so much more if a weight coach sees us miss a line in a pro agility drill. It's Adrian chewing that guy's tail like it's not up to our standard. Let's get it right. Let's do it the right way. So Adrian's, like you said, has been in this program a lot, and he's grown a lot as a leader. He's very well spoken in interviews and to people above, below him. He'll talk to you the same way. So he's a great leader, and I'm happy to have him as our leader.
Talking with Greg Austin and then Cam, and just the way that Nebraska lines have kind of set the tone for in history, and kind of what Nebraska's kind of known for, that being tough and gritty up front. How much as a tight end group do you guys take pride in that, as well as kind of being a part of that?
Yeah, tight end is a position I think has to know the second most on the entire offense next to the quarterback. You're in the run game, you're in the pass game, and most importantly, when we're in the core with those big guys, we have to understand what they're doing in the blocking scheme, and we have to be just at the same level as them in the blocking run game, because we block with the tackles, and sometimes we're just on an island as a tight end. So it's a tough position to play, and I love how much the line communicates with us, and they do a good job of holding us accountable to their standards.
What's the goal for the tight end group as you hit the ground running for fall camp?
As a tight end group, we just got to lead. I mean, a lot of people look up to our position. A lot of people come to us for knowledge about the offense. We have a lot of guys in the tight end room that have been there throughout the 4 years that have a great understanding of this offense and what we want to get accomplished. So I think as other positions look at us, I think they just look at us as leaders. And I think for us this year, we just need to continue that leadership.
So that was shot again before fall camp even started, but you heard him talking about that they want to be the leaders and help, the offensive guys, because, there's some guys that have played some football, but a lot of them new and working in some new positions, so they knew that they were going to have to be kind of the leaders and the voice of helping this offense along.
Well, they know the running back room's fairly new to the team. A lot of new wide receivers are probably going to get snaps, so they know what they're doing out there, and I think that's great that they've kind of grabbed that leadership role. He's such a good young guy. I just remember he was such a good high school basketball player. I think probably 5-6 years ago, he probably told you, I'm playing college basketball, not college football.
He looks like a college basketball. He could be a pretty good college basketball player.
Yeah, but I think he made a right decision. I think it's going to pay off for him.
Maybe a future AD in the working there?
How about that? It seems like that's kind of what he wants to do, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, he was on that search committee, talking with Trev, and he seems to be kind of involved with that, so
He's a really bright guy, and I know he's got a lot of fans in the state because he grew up in the state. In fact, Dave on our text line just said 2 Husker tight ends from Aurora, one of the smallest Class B schools in the state. You're exactly right. Ian Borkacher, who we talked with Coach Beckton about in the last segment, is also a guy that's really popular in that tight end room. Nate Borkacher. Nate's the tight end. His brother's one of the defensive player for the Cornhuskers. So the Borkachers have made an impact on this program as well. But Austin's a good kid. Glad you had a chance to catch up with him.
Yeah, he was awesome. And, I just think everything that he kind of talked about, which we've said, it's a lot of talk right now, and they got to prove it on the field, but the things that he was talking about happened before even fall camp even happened. So, already 2 weeks in, they're making things come to fruition that they had talked about before it even started.
Jessica, I spoke to one of the civic groups in town today, and a couple questions I got about NIL and some news about that today in college football. The Hurricanes quarterback, De'Aaron King, really good player, started his career at Houston, transferred to Miami a year ago. He became today the first college player to sign an endorsement deal with an NHL franchise. The Panthers, who are based in the Miami area, inked a deal with him. So you've got a pro franchise, not the same sport, but a pro franchise signing for them to go out and make some appearances and show up at some games. A college football quarterback. That's a little different, but that's certainly allowed.
What's the attendance like for them? What do they get?
I don't know how well they do. they've not been as good as the Tampa Bay franchise, the Tampa franchise in the NHL. So I don't know. He's going to make some appearances at games and events, plus engage with fans on social media and help them produce some digital content. Looks like it's a pretty lucrative deal, but there you go. You have a pro franchise in sports signing a college football player.
That'll be interesting.
There
I mean,
you
not very many pro franchises will do that because not a lot of them need that. Need that kind of promotion.
Now, maybe the Hurricanes are a big deal in South Florida. They are, particularly Hurricane football, because of their great tradition and winning national titles and all that. So they obviously feel like it's worth it. But that was interesting when I saw that cross earlier today.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that maybe this, because they are saying that the big market cities aren't going to benefit in this, and that maybe this changes that narrative. I still don't think it does. I think this is kind of a rare. I don't know how much of this we'll see. I
don't know. I mean, I think the worry is, say, college basketball. UCLA is a big program in L.A. They could maybe get, but do they? Do they take away that from the Lakers and the Clippers? I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't see like a NFL team utilizing a college player to promote their teams. I don't see an NBA team doing it. Maybe Major League Baseball might. I don't know.
Yeah. That caught my eye when I saw that, and I brought that up to the group I talked to earlier today. All right, I need to work a break in. Still plenty of time. If you want to be a part of this hour, 402-413-2400. That is our number to call or text. Again, we're up on our YouTube stream. There's a chat room in there. If you have a question you want to fire off at us in that particular venue, you certainly can do that as well. More Sports Nightly straight ahead.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Look away! A runaway train of IT problems is bearing down on our brave IT hero. But wait! It's Marco's Technology Assessment to the rescue with life-saving IT strategies. Our hero's technology issues are derailed. A tip of the hat to Marco. And our hero rides into the virtual sunset of our WebEx background. For more successful IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Been a week here in August, and we're counting down the days inside of 3 weeks for kickoff for the Cornhusker football team as they'll take on Brett Bielema's Fighting Illini in the opening game of the year, a noon kick on the 28th of this month. On our text line, is Alante Brown going to be the main return guy? He'll have a chance. He was back there some last year. I think he has been slowed a bit in the fall camp with an injury, still wearing a green jersey. He's going to be okay, I think, for the season, but I would put him in the basket of a guy that will get a shot at that position. He's one of the faster players on the football team, so I think he'll have a chance. Appreciate that question along our text line. How are the folks in the chat room doing tonight?
So Crypto King is back again, the one of the #1 fans there in our YouTube chat. And
you gotta be careful how many you're labeling with, how many #1s you're calling
I
out
know.
there.
Well, I said him, and then one person got mad, so I said 1A, 1B,
You're
Andy
offending
Harris.
people.
But Andy Harris isn't here today, so Crypto King is it. But he asked about, do we have any players making money yet from the NIL deal? And I think, like we've talked about, the big names, Lexi Sun, Adrian Martinez, definitely making some money there. But I think a lot of things, there's a lot of athletes getting opportunities. It's just maybe not massive money yet.
Yeah, I mean, well, Adrian got the nationwide antiperspirant deal or the deodorant deal with degree. That was pretty big. Lexi's own line of clothing. Kind of wonder how that's been going for her. But, yeah, it's maybe hasn't moved the earth as much as some people thought it could. I'm still kind of the mindset, Jessica, that it's going to be a handful of athletes on every campus that's going to do really well. And then for the rest of them, a little bit here and there, but at least they have the opportunity to do that.
And that's everywhere. That's not just at Nebraska. That's every school in the country. But, you know, I think just having the opportunity to, you know, make a post on Instagram and get a deal with you know, just something small, just even having those kinds of opportunities available is kind of the key thing here. Not everybody's going to make millions or thousands, but, you know, just the little things can add up and certainly help.
And, you know, for years, this is the one thing athletes have kind of wanted. They say, you know, a lot of money being made off of jersey sales or this or that or whatever it could be. And I think we'll find the sweet spot eventually with the NIL. I think it may take a couple of years for everybody to kind of experiment with it a little bit. I think there'll be some tweaks along the way as we kind of get our arms wrapped around all of this. But to me, it's been a bit of a, what do they call it, a soft opening? Kind of a soft opening for this thing.
Soft launch.
6 weeks into yeah, soft launch into this thing.
Yeah, I mean, and two, maybe a lot of it because it kind of happened a little bit suddenly where, you know, a lot of states, there were what? It kind of came along a little bit quickly, but for a while there were not very many states that had the legislation in place to move forward with NIL. And then all of a sudden it was like that last week, oh, okay, here we go. Everybody, you can do it. But so maybe a lot of states and businesses weren't prepared for it either.
That could be. 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Let's head to the phones. Pete is up next on Sports Honda. Good evening, Pete.
Good evening. How you doing?
Great, thanks.
I got a question. It might be a dumb question, but do you see any potential problems with this name, image, and likeness? Say if a company come in and sponsor the kid or whatever for high dollars, say $500,000, and somebody within the company, maybe the president, vice president, is doing some gambling. Do you think they could put pressure back on that kid to maybe shave points?
Wow. Really hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think that's certainly a possibility. I mean, Pete, I think we're going to stumble, I think, along the way on this thing, don't you? I think there's just too many open-ended questions on this. I think there's going to be some shady stuff that I think happens with this whole thing.
I would agree, and that's what kind of concerns me. I don't think there was an awful lot of thought put into this when they made the decision. I think it should have been thought out a little better.
Well, yeah, because the NCAA were like, no, they didn't want this thing to happen, and they were kind of pushing back at, you know, they wanted the state and the lawmakers. They wanted the lawmakers to step in and do it. So I do think there's going to be some legislation eventually coming, but because the NCAA kind of dragged their feet so long on it, there's nothing in place right now to monitor it. But there has got to be some things like that, like he just talked about, that is put in place for that.
Pete, appreciate the phone call. I hadn't thought about that, but there's a lot of things I think that could result from this thing that we haven't thought about. And this is what keeps college administrators up at night, is they're thinking of scenarios just like Pete threw out. They're like, well, what happens there? There's just a myriad of things that could happen. You know, I still think back to Nick Saban a couple of weeks ago talking about his starting quarterback who hasn't played yet at Alabama or hadn't started a game yet, and he goes, he's approaching $1 million deal. I'm not quite sure that's happening yet, but you got a coach out there saying that.
Well, then you got kids skipping their senior year of high school to go try to capitalize on it as well. So, yeah, the NCAA really dropped the ball on this, kind of not, you know, being on top of it when it was coming and everyone knew it was coming. But now it's just kind of, you know, everyone's doing their own thing, and there's no really – there are, you know, things in place to try to help, you know, open doors, has tracking, and you're going to have to report these things on your taxes. So, you know, that's hopefully these schools are, you know, educating these athletes like Nebraska has, so that you know that you just can't get, you know, free money.
Again, I'm grateful for the opportunity for the athletes, because I think that they have been taken advantage of is maybe too strong of a word, but that they should have been able to get a little bit of kickback for some things because of what they do on the playing field or the playing surface. But it does open the door. I heard one coach say You know, back in the 70s and 80s, we used to put schools on probation for doing some of this stuff, and now we're basically going, go ahead, do that. Be a big booster and give a kid a car or something to drive around.
Wild turn, yeah. But we all knew this was coming back like this. Did. You know, it's just a matter of it took so long to get there that now a lot of people weren't ready for it, and even the NCAA wasn't ready for it. But yeah, it's kind of funny to hear some of the guys from the 70s and 80s talking about that.
Well, a lot of those schools in Texas got major probation. SMU got the death penalty for their football team because they were giving out cars and guys were driving around Corvettes around the Dallas area. So, but now if you go be a spokesperson for the local Corvette dealer, you could drive that car. You can do it legally. So it's a different world that we live in today. And again, I think it was needed to do some of this, but we'll just get it all figured out.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what this does when the season starts for teams, you know, because we've talked about how could that, affect the locker room? Who knows?
We don't know that yet either.
So once we start playing, we'll see how this unfolds as well.
I think I think you have to be smart enough to know that the starting quarterback is probably going to do pretty well in this thing. And that's the same way in the NFL, right? The biggest checks go to the quarterback each week. The linemen know that. The running backs know that the quarterback's the guy that gets all. So I don't know that there'll be resentment toward that position, but there could be if somebody else comes up with a pretty nice deal and you're like, how did he get that deal?
Or if it's, takes away from what you're doing with your team.
That's right.
If you're spending too much time doing all these, things and you're not, getting the extra work in, throwing to your wide receivers,
You're out at a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be at a team meeting or something.
Yeah, that's where, things could start going sour.
Just got a text in and exactly right. Reggie Bush had to give up his Heisman Trophy, the stuff that now would be fine to be able to do with NIL. At the time, it was illegal when he was at USC, and now it'd probably be okay.
And now he's trying to get it back.
And they're not giving it to him. Doesn't sound like they're going to give it to him. Which couple of athletes do you think are really going to profit coming out of these Olympic Games? Suni Lee, is she going to get
Sydney McLaughlin. Suni Lee is going to kill it at Auburn.
I think she will.
I think
she will.
Because she's going
she's going to college right now.
Yep. And for a while, when gymnasts would go compete at the Olympics and then go to college, they basically couldn't get any of their earnings. They couldn't touch it until they were done competing. But now everything that she gets money for winning a gold medal. She's going to get that money, get, all these endorsements that she would not have been able to do before all of this signed. She would have to wait the 4 years till she was done competing collegiately.
Now she gets it. Mm-hmm. And I'm drawing a blank. There was a skier that went to Colorado, played wide receiver. Somebody on the chat room will probably come up with it. And he was an Olympic skier. Then he wanted to go play college football for the Buffaloes. This was 15, 20 years ago. But he couldn't. He had to battle to get his eligibility back. Say, well, you've profited from your skiing. You can't be a college football player. And now that would be okay. But, yeah, Suni Lee, I think, will do very well post-Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know about some of the younger that are going to college after this deal, but Sydney McLaughlin's going to be a huge star, and the swimmer,
Caleb Dressel.
Yeah, he'll be a superstar.
But I think he's past college age. But yeah, it's hard to. I have a hard time figuring out which ones are still in college and which ones are. Is Sydney out of college?
Yeah, I think she's done. So yeah, I would have to figure out who are some of the ones that are.
Yeah.
There's some swimmers that I think are going back to school.
I think you're right. Well, Katie Ledecky, during a couple of her Olympic runs, was still a swimmer. Was it Stanford? I think it's where she was going to school out there. So there you go. All right, 1 hour in the books. Buckle up. Put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 1 hour finished, 1 hour to go. A couple of fun interviews for you coming up in hour number 2. Nicklin Hames, the Huskers setter, will be joining us here in just a little bit. And we'll hear from Delano Benton, who got drafted a couple of weeks ago by the Toronto Raptors. He's now taking part in the NBA Summer League out in Las Vegas. They played yesterday. He got some minutes. They're going to play again later this week. A lot of those games are on ESPN or NBA TV. Chance to watch Delano as he tries to get into his professional career, and we certainly wish him nothing but good luck. 1 hour down, 1 to go. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer. As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's sports ticker. After holding their first scrimmage of the preseason camp yesterday, the Huskers were off today. Practice number 10 will be tomorrow. We will hear from defensive coordinator Eric Chenander afterwards. We'll have a full report tomorrow night here on the program. Former Husker kicker Brent Maher has signed a free agent deal with the New Orleans Saints. Maher last kicked in the league with the Dallas Cowboys. After having their media day on Saturday, Husker Volleyball held 2 practice sessions today. We're going to hear from setter Nicklin Hames here shortly. Husker Soccer will hold a pair of exhibition matches this week. Up first will be the Coyotes from South Dakota. That'll be Wednesday night at Huiberg Stadium starting at 7. They'll then face North Dakota State Friday night at 7 o'clock. Admission for both matches is free. We will be doing Sports Nightly live from Huiberg on Wednesday night. Checking the Major League Baseball scoreboard, a light schedule in the big leagues today. The Indians all over the Reds right now, 8-1 in the top of the 5th. They're about to start in Minneapolis with the Twins and the White Sox. In Kansas City, the Royals and Yankees are getting together. Also, now in a rain delay in Chicago, the Brewers and Cubs trying to get their first game of their series underway at the friendly confines. And later tonight, the Padres host the Marlins. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends a pass, fade goes off. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the 5th. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then, I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker Volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, Monday night, hour number 2. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you stayed cool. It wasn't too bad over the weekend. It is nasty out there today. We have a big hour coming up. We're going to hear from Nicklin Hames. We caught up with her at the Volleyball Media Day on Saturday, the Huskers Center. As the Huskers began practices today, they'll have their red-white scrimmage coming up on the 21st. Their opening matches, they'll have 2 of them on the 27th on Friday out at the Devaney Center. We'll also talk to the newest Husker trying to make his way into the NBA, Delano Benton, who was drafted a couple of weeks ago by the Raptors. He will join us for a brief chat coming up as well. And we want you to be a part of the hour, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. We're also up on our YouTube channel if you want to watch it, and there's a chat room in there that you can pop in there and ask some things in there as well. All right, a little volleyball action.
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about when we were out at Media Day and just watching the amount of talent that was walking around there and the depth, and think about how many coaches across the country. Oh, if we could just have 1 or 2 of those players, how big of a difference that would make in a program.
Sure would, and you're right. And this freshman class is the best freshman class probably ever assembled in the sport of volleyball. They're coming in to compete with a very veteran team that made it to the Elite Eight last April before bowing out with the Texas Longhorns, took out the Huskers in that Elite Eight match. So big things expected for this team and big hopes by this team. They don't shy away from the fact that their bar for success is pretty high.
Yeah, I when we did the Big Red Blitz, and I was reading, some of the notes about whatever straight appearance it was that they had made it to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. There was all of those, and Tyler Hildebrand, when he got up and spoke to the group, he said, it's funny that you said that, because I bet you Coach Cook doesn't even know that, because really the only finish that really matters around here is the national championship. Right. I mean, they make no bones about it. They embrace those expectations.
He wants to win the league, which he says is harder to do than to win the NCAAs, because he said the league is win that and then win the whole thing. Those are the 2 goals. I don't think they have a whole lot of goals. It's those 2 basically. That's the bar they set. Speaking of setting, you had a chance to catch up with the setter, Nicklin Hames.
Yes, she was awesome. I really enjoyed getting to talk to her. She's been through a lot. Hopefully we'll get to do a feature on her once we get into the season, but has really had a breakthrough over the last year. And so, but kind of just, started with how the summer was, being that it was actually kind of getting back to normal.
It was good. It was nice. We got a little break and then we came back and it was finally a normal summer. I don't think we've had a normal summer in forever, so it was relaxed, but we also worked really hard, so it was a great summer overall.
Just coming off the season in the spring, I mean, how do you kind of transition into kind of right back to it and right back to another season?
Yeah, I think it's just we're finally back in a normal routine. Last year we were in the spring, so it was so weird. We usually play beach and we're going to Hawaii, so it's nice to finally be back on a schedule. We get to have our fans back, fingers crossed, if everything plays out as it's supposed to, but I think we're prepared for it, so we've been thinking about it since last spring, so we're ready.
How exciting is this day, knowing that, practice is right around the corner, which means the season's right around the corner?
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's crazy that we're finally going to be back, and it does feel really fast, but I had a coach text us today and said 15 days till the freshmen pee down their leg. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. You personally, I mean, it seems like you really had a breakthrough season last year, mentally and everything, hearing that you went through a lot of growth. How much better do you feel going into this year?
A lot better. I think last year I had to go through last year basically to get to the point I am now. I had to go through playing on the court and trying to transfer everything that I had done in practice onto an actual game. And so it was a long season. I would break down in the middle. I'd just be like, why am I doing this? But in the end, it really paid off. And I'm grateful for that experience and that journey. And I feel like I've learned so much about myself as a person, not only as a volleyball player. And so I think I'm going in with a lot more confidence into this year.
Obviously, setter, big responsibility, and known for having great setters around here. What responsibility do you have during the preseason to kind of get this team going and making sure you guys are ready to go for the first match?
Yeah, when we get new people, when we get new freshmen, it's just really important to get them acclimated to the team. So we did a lot of team bonding, making sure that they're getting used to everybody and getting ready, and then teaching them the stuff in the gym. In open gym, we're teaching them the floor moves, what drills are, so when we get into season, into practice, that they're ready and they know everything that's going to be happening. And I think we did a lot of growth this year as a team, getting really vulnerable with each other, and I'm just glad that I was a part of it, and we're super excited.
Yeah, this program makes no bones about what the expectations are around here. So when you walk off the court in the spring, not with the goal, how much does that kind of drive you going into this year?
Yeah, we haven't been the same Nebraska volleyball team the past 2 years. We haven't had that edge. And so this summer, it was all about finding our edge. What's our edge? So when teams play us, they're like, oh, we have to play Nebraska. So I think we found that this season, and it's been a motivator for us to get back on the court this year and actually finish as a Nebraska volleyball team usually does.
As a setter, how do you go about kind of developing chemistry, figuring out where your hitters want balls, especially like new hitters coming in, and figuring out how you kind of distribute the ball where it needs to be?
Yeah, it's a lot of communication, a lot of trust. It's not going to be perfect every time, and so having that trust is, maybe I set you a bad ball, but I have your back. I'm going to make a great play on it. And having that communication with each other, it helps us find what's the best ball for them. And I've had great connection in the past with all my hitters, and so I'm excited. Me and the freshmen have already started working on that, so I'm excited to see it play out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we hear about quarterbacks and wide receivers that they go out to the field and throw balls. How do you go about doing that? What's that process like on the volleyball court when you're the setter kind of passing to your hitters?
Yeah, we kind of just rep it out. You got to go through the trenches. Basically, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And so we just get in the gym, someone passes for us, I set them the balls, and then we work out the tempo that's best for them.
And then just day one, about to be here, what's this team needed to do? What is the kind of goals for the next 2 weeks before you have the red and white scrimmage, and then you kind of get the season rolling?
Just to really come in here and work really hard, figure out what it's going to take to be holding that trophy at the end. And it's going to be crazy to actually have a red-white with fans. I'm super excited, but we really have to hold each other accountable this year and really take a step in that, and that growth will hopefully pay off in the end.
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, how excited are you to have this place full again?
I'm so excited. They give us points in games, and this year we really struggled with matches starting off strong. We would go down like 6-0. We just didn't have the energy, and I think it's because we were really missing all of our fans, and they bring so much energy. And I told this in the press conference, I was getting goosebumps thinking about it, just like running out to a full Devaney again.
Thank you so much. That was great. Can't wait to check it out myself for the first time. I am so excited to experience Devaney, a packed house Devaney.
That first weekend, there are 4 teams here, including Nebraska, K-State, Colgate, Tulsa. So they'll rotate their way through those 3. The opening match will be Tulsa at 11 a.m. on that Friday the 27th, and they'll turn back around and play Colgate that night at 6:30, and then they'll face K-State at 4 o'clock on that Saturday. So that'll be a busy Saturday because Husker football plays at noon. So you can watch that and then get out to the Devaney Center and watch the Huskers play the Wildcats, one of their former Big 12 rivals, at 4 o'clock. Then the second weekend, kind of another round-robin affair with UNO, Georgia, and Arizona State. So a chance for them to face those schools the second weekend at home. And then it gets really dicey because they'll go to Creighton. Creighton's our top 20 team, and they go to Stanford mid-September. They're a traditional national power. So they'll be tested before they get into league play.
Well, it's kind of what you want, right? You want to
Sure.
you don't want to be prepared because, as you said earlier about Coach Cook talking, it's sometimes harder to win the Big Ten than it is a national title. So you don't want to have any cupcakes or have a cupcake schedule leading into the Big Ten, or else you won't be prepared for it.
Also, a fun match will be Louisville coming in here with former Husker Danny Busboom, who left the Husker program and now is the head coach at Louisville, doing a great job for the Cardinal program. So that'll be cool to have her back in the building with a pretty good squad to face the Huskers. That'll be Saturday the 18th, Husker football on the road that week down in Norman to play Oklahoma. But Louisville will be at the Devaney Center for that. On our text line, I got a text about a football comment. Said, I don't know much about anything, but my picks for captains for Husker football team: Adrian Martinez, Austin Allen, Cam Tater-Britt, and Ben Stille. Pretty good odds, huh? That's pretty hands-on. That's pretty dead on, I think.
Yeah, I think those 4 for sure. And JoJo Doman, we talked about him
JoJo would be in there.
that mix as well.
Yeah, so this, if you're saying you don't know much, I think you do. That's pretty good.
That was pretty spot on.
laid that out there as well. All right, numbers if you want to be a part of it with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. If you have some thoughts about Husker volleyball, great to hear from Nicklin Hames there. As we caught up with her Saturday at the media day, they had two-a-days this week for Husker volleyball, so 2 practices. In fact, the second one I think is still underway out at the Devaney Center. If you have some thoughts about that, or if you want to jump in, watch us on our YouTube channel, jump in that chat room and fire some things at us as well, you can do that. We'll take those comments coming up, and we'll hear from Delano Benton, a Husker now trying to make his way into the NBA with the Toronto Raptors. That's next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop Woodhouse first for all of your pre-owned vehicle needs. We offer a variety of quality used makes and models across 16 different locations. You can shop with confidence knowing our pre-owned vehicles complete a comprehensive inspection upon arrival. Visit us for a test drive today or online anytime at woodhouse.com. Making your car buying experience better. This is Woodhouse.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. With a combination of strong academics and affordability, UNL offers an excellent educational value. This year, the university was named one of the Princeton Review's best value colleges. And the new Nebraska Promise and Career Scholarship programs are connecting more hardworking Huskers with financial help so they can pursue their dreams.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Huskers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding Nebraska athletics, including game times, results, ticket promotions, prize giveaways, and more. Log on to also follow several sport-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Join today and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world. Visit huskers.com/social media to see all of our accounts.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams. Help! Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. Mark on our text line. Nicklin, really fun to watch. Great defender. And definitely all conference eyelashes. I noticed that, too, when you were talking to her.
Yeah, I mean... I am really excited about what she is going to do this year. Just hearing some about her story and her growth and really kind of feeling like she was getting to be herself last spring, even though with the challenges. So, I mean, I think she could have a big year. But, you know, as he mentioned, you know, the great defender and everything else, it's kind of, we saw it in the Olympic with the you know, volleyball players about how that they can do a lot of different things. They have to be able to play basically like all three phases, you know, like on a football field.
Justine was, like you said, phenomenal. Named the libero of the tournament, or I'm not sure it's called libero. I've always said libero.
I think it on a national or international. I think it was what is it? It's not Libra because that's the horoscope sign, but something like that.
It's like they've changed the way that it's whatever. People know what I'm talking about when we say that. The player that wears a different color jersey than the other ones on our team. So that's going on. In basketball, they all wear the same color jerseys. And right now, Delano Benton is getting used to his new jersey, and that's of the Toronto Raptors, drafted a couple of weeks ago and now playing in their summer league. Has one game under his belt, and we finally got a chance to catch up with him today.
Are we going to him now, or are we waiting?
Let's go.
Okay, yes. He finally got back to us. So right after practice, literally practice ended, and then he gave us a call. And so great interview getting to talk with him. And, just kind of a crazy 2 weeks for Delano. Delano, what a 2 weeks it's been for you from hearing your name called in the NBA draft by your hometown team. You were hanging out with Drake, and now you made your debut in Summer League with the Raptors. How would you describe these last couple of weeks?
I can't really describe it with words. It's just been, such a joy. I feel like just being able to live out your dreams and just hearing your name called by your hometown is kind of like just, two dreams unfolding in your face at once. So I feel like, it's just a crazy feeling that I can't really explain. I don't have much words for it, but it's definitely a blessing. And, I'm just glad to be here and, glad to represent for my city. So, I feel like it's going to be great, and I'm having a great time so far. So just, continuing to grind and, put the work in to continue to just develop my game.
That's awesome. Can you take us back to the moment when it's official and your name is called by the Toronto Raptors? Just the emotion that you felt in that moment?
Yeah, man, it's still a surreal feeling to me right now. Like every day I wake up and, I'm going to practice with the Raptors. So it's kind of like every day I wake up, it's kind of the same feeling. But just hearing my name called was definitely like, just the dream come true, and, the joy and just how happy my family was kind of just, boosted it, and everyone just being so, grateful for the opportunity. And, I feel like just being able to represent from the city and, my name being called for Toronto was just a big boost for the whole of Canada. And, it was great. I love it. And, I'm going to relive that moment all the time. And, I'm going to cherish it forever.
Yeah, the first ever Canadian to be drafted by Toronto. What does that mean to you? You've talked about wanting to be an example for those young kids looking up to you. How special is that you were the first ever Canadian to be drafted by Toronto?
Yeah, it's very special. Just being able to make history in any way is definitely, a plus for anybody. So just being able to represent it for my country and for my city is definitely a good thing. And, just growing up in Toronto, like just playing basketball, you never seen it before, so you might not believe it or might not think that it can happen. But I feel like just, with me being like a blueprint to it and, being able to see it first and be like, okay, if I did it, then, somebody else could do it or the kid from my neighborhood could do it as well. So, just kind of shining that light and just, putting kids in a position to believe.
So you made your debut the other night in a win over the Knicks, and you were all over the stat sheet, kind of did a little bit of everything. But the Raptors actually posted you playing a little defense with a block. What was that like to kind of see yourself on the Toronto Raptors social media page?
Like I said, it's all new to me. Like I said, I'm just grateful for everything that's been done for me or everything that, that I'm going through today. I'm just grateful for it all. So just being on the Raptors page, it's amazing. I followed that page for a long time before I played for them, because I've been a Raptors fan growing up in Toronto. So, it's great just to see yourself there and, for my family as well, they all watch the Raptors and that's the only team that my family ever kept up with just because we're all from Toronto. So just being a part of it and, being able to say that I'm a Raptor is definitely a dream come true for me and my whole family.
I've heard a lot about your versatility, and that was a big reason why, the Raptors decided to draft you. How much pride do you take in, you being able to do a lot of different things, especially at your height on the basketball court?
I take a lot of pride in it. I feel like that's kind of what my game is made of. I feel like just the NBA transitioning into like a positionless sport, I feel like just being able to use my height, size, and versatility all around the floor is, going to help me down the line and, put me in position to be successful for, a long career in the NBA.
So you've got one game in the books. You got 3 more to go in Summer League, and then, of course, leading up to the season. What do you need to do to secure a spot on that roster?
Just continuing to grind, just continuing to trust in the development, the work that they put me through, just continuing to love it, every day coming in with the same mentality and, just understanding that this is business and, it's a job now and, I just have to understand how things go, if they could play out in my favor or not. So, I just feel like just continuing to come in with the same mentality to grind and get better and just, show what I can do and, just be true to myself. And, I feel like that's going to put me in the best position.
Speaking with Delano Benton, okay, let's go back to your time at Nebraska. And Coach Hoiberg has talked about you were one of the first recruits that really bought in and believed in what they were trying to do here at Nebraska. What made you believe in Coach Hoiberg and this staff?
Just being able to talk with, Coach, I feel like just him being so transparent with me and just like I always say, just not having that player-coach relationship, like, just him being able to talk to me like as a brother or even a friend. I feel like that just went a long way for me at an early stage. And just me being able to pick his brain, it wasn't all about college. When he was first recruiting me, I was able to ask him real questions about the NBA, him being an NBA player, a coach, and a part of a front office. I felt like, just putting myself in those hands and in the best position to help, further my career. So I feel like, anybody who Coach Hoiberg recruits, I feel like they should give him a really strong chance just because of how he is and how he could connect you with NBA teams. And it's just literally a phone call away. He knows all the GMs and, he put in a lot of work to help me get drafted and, called a lot of teams for me. So, I'm very grateful for him and, we continue to talk. So, he's a great guy. And, I just got that relationship with him and that vibe from him very early on. And, I loved it. So I had to commit there.
What about the style of play and the system of how does that prepare you for the next level?
Yeah, definitely. Just playing in the NBA system early for the 2 years that I was there and just understanding it. We run a lot of the same actions here for the Raptors and, a lot of teams and just going into NBA workouts. Just a lot of the workouts that, Coach Hoiberg had put us through is the same things that we were doing there. So, it kind of gave me a little bit of edge, a step ahead. Just being able to have that NBA coach who knows and runs the same stuff will give you a big boost.
How much just overall everything that kind of the people here at Nebraska did for you, how much did that prepare you coming here for that year, prepare you for, getting your name called by the Toronto Raptors?
Oh, a lot, down to Coach Gates, Coach Doc, Coach Matt, Luca. I just feel like all the guys just, being on me and being able to understand what the longevity is for my career and, help make me understand that. I feel like just having a great support team, it can never just be you, so just having that great support team around me and just guys who want to see the best for you, so they were never trying to hold me back. They always wanted the best for me, so I feel like that was good. And just having to get advice from a lot of people, even Coach Nate, who just got there now, like he was an NBA guy who, helped develop in the NBA. And he took me in, and I was only with him for about 3 weeks, and, he taught me a lot. So just, guys who want to just see the best for you and see you successful. So, I love them all for that.
That's so awesome. Delano, we've been talking about how we've been trying to get you on, but you kind of keep picking Drake over us. So what's it been like hanging out with Drake up there?
It's great. Just being able to see two guys from Toronto, kind of just make a name for themselves. I feel like just in two different fields, if you want to, pursue a music career, you want to pursue basketball, I feel like just being from Toronto gives people that hope to see us in a picture together. It's kind of like, we're two guys from the city. So, like, it puts it in a lot of people's heads that they can do it themselves. So, I feel like it's just a great look for the city, and, it's just great. It's fun.
Is he going to get you on any albums coming up?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, Delano, thank you so much. I know you're busy, so we appreciate your time, and you got a lot of fans here in Lincoln that are rooting for you.
No, thank you guys for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
All right, best of luck. We'll be cheering for you, and next game is actually on ESPN too, so Husker fans will be able to check it out 7 o'clock against Golden State. Delano, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You guys have a good day.
Awesome to get to talk to him. We've been trying to track him down, but literally left practice and gave us some time. And you heard how much the staff and Coach Hoiberg coming here to Nebraska kind of helped him get to this spot. And what's cool, we're going to get to watch him play on ESPN2 on Wednesday versus Golden State, 7 o'clock.
Very good. He was just very complimentary of both Coach Hoiberg and the entire staff. He was here 2 years, had to sit the first year because at that time you didn't have the one-time transfer rule in effect. So he left Western Kentucky, came here, sat out. Remember seeing him jump around on the end of the bench cheering on his teammates. And then last year was just such a goofy year with a start. He got COVID. The whole team did for the 28 days. So I don't think we really got a good gauge of what kind of player he is. But at least the Raptors sure believe he is. And I know he's got, like you said, a bunch of people here rooting for him to succeed.
Well, and at 6'9" and can play so many positions. And we've heard somebody talking about the positionless kind of game that the NBA is going to. And he can play really all over the court. That, that versatility was a big reason why Toronto decided to take him there.
Yeah. We had a good conversation with Matt Abdelmassi about him a week or so ago, and Matt raved about him as a young man. And I think you could tell just listening to him there that he is a really high-quality young guy. All right, phone lines are open for you. Text lines are open for you, 402-413-2400. If you have some thoughts about any of our topics of the day, if you have some questions about the upcoming football season, we can get into that. The chat room is open and active right now on YouTube. If you want to jump in and join our program that way, you can certainly do that as well. Time to tell you, though, to buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More of the show straight ahead.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse and experience the difference. Start and end your car buying journey online with our streamlined sales process. Our knowledgeable sales teams will guide you to the perfect vehicle that exceeds your expectations. Visit one of our 16 locations for a test drive today or online anytime at woodhouse.com. streamlining your car buying experience. This is Woodhouse.
Husker fans, the 2021 athletic season marks the beginning of mobile tickets for Husker sporting events. Tickets and parking passes for all sports will be available for download in your ticket account on the official Huskers app. It's a safe and easy way to guarantee your entry into some of the most exciting sporting events around. Simply download your ticket from your ticket account or the Huskers app and save to your mobile phone wallet before you leave home. Scan at the gate and enjoy the game. Go Big Red!
Back to adventures in technology. Look away! A runaway train of IT problems is bearing down on our brave IT hero. But wait! It's Marco's Technology Assessment to the rescue with life-saving IT strategies. Our hero's technology issues are derailed. A tip of the hat to Marco. And our hero rides into the virtual sunset of our WebEx background. For more successful IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Trade in and trade up at Woodhouse today. Experience our wide range of inventory from our 16 different locations and 18 different brands, where we're sure to have a vehicle for you. Locate your vehicle online at woodhouse.com and shop your preferred dealership. And we make it convenient for you with the option to finance and buy online from the comfort of your own home. Visit one of our convenient locations closest to you or shop all of our inventory online at woodhouse.com today. Making car buying easier. This is Woodhouse.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. On May 7th and 8th, Nebraska celebrated its largest May graduating class in university history. 3,594 degrees were awarded to Nebraska graduates in ceremonies at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Memorial Stadium. Along with receiving their diplomas, graduates also heard inspiring speeches from notable Nebraskans, including legendary coach Tom Osborne.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night Sports Night here on the Huskers Sports Network. If you want to be a part of the program, with a call or text 402-413-2400 or jump into the chat room. What's happening in the chat room? Anybody in there tonight?
Yeah, we just had another comment about the backup quarterback. We
Still
still
to be
don't know, but
determined.
when do you think that could be named? Because you know, the running back we might hear that kind of depth chart might come out a little bit sooner, but do you think the backup quarterback could be something that we might not even know until game week, or do you think that will be
I
set?
think it could come out middle of next week, which would be the week before game week. I think that will be settled, but I don't think they're quite there yet. And I don't think they're quite there yet on the running back position either.
Yeah, I mean, and they're not going to name it until they're ready, but
Right.
First scrimmage, they'll go back and watch the tape and see how that went, and give them another week to really battle it out.
We'll hear from some of the offensive coaches on Wednesday. We'll hear from defensive coaches tomorrow after their 10th practice tomorrow. College football lost one of its giants, Jessica, over the weekend with the passing of Bobby Bowden, longtime Florida State head coach and a good friend with Coach Osborne. And Bobby points back to he brought his team to Lincoln in 1980, and Florida State wasn't much at that point in time. Bobby had been at West Virginia and then took the job at Florida State, and they were a program I think Bobby thought could become a national power, but they weren't in a conference at that time, and they were just kind of an outlier of college football. Then he came in and beat the Huskers, who were ranked in the top 5. Afterwards, he wrote a letter to the Nebraska athletic director, and I want to read it to everybody because this is a testament to Nebraska fans. But he started off by saying, "Gentlemen, I have been coaching college football the past 28 years and have played before some great crowds around the country. I have never seen people with more class than I saw in Nebraska last week. The Nebraska fans, players, cheerleaders, band, officials, coaches, etc. gave me a living testimony of what college football should be all about. I actually had the feeling that when we upset the Nebraska team, that instead of hate and spite, the Nebraska fans thanked us for coming to Lincoln and putting on a good show. This is true. This is nearly unheard of in today's society. Nebraska, you are a great example for Americans to copy. I hope we show half the class your people do. Sincerely, Bobby Bowden, head coach at Florida State. So sent that letter out. Got published, I think, in a couple of the newspapers around here as well. But I think that kind of forged a great relationship between him and Tom Osborne.
Yeah, I think they were super close even up until the end. I think Coach Osborne got a chance to talk to him recently, but worked together very closely on the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and just two giants in this sport. I thought it's been pretty remarkable, all the kind of college football giants that have put out statements, tweeted, posted about him, you know, individual stories about what he's done. Shane Beamer, son of Frank Beamer, now the head coach at South Carolina, talked about how when he was young, he would write letters to head coaches, you know, really all over the country, you know, wanting to get into coaching and, you know, just pick all these head coaches' brains, and said that Bobby Bowden was the one that would always respond to his handwritten letters, would always write him a letter back. So just an incredible human being, but then also just what he did for the sport. Wow. It seemed to be totally at peace, though, with everything, you know, all the messages and kind of talks that he had given up until the point that knew where he was going and was okay with, good with the life he lived and was at peace.
Husker fans, Florida State was the thorn in their side. They had some tough losses to Bobby, but he was a hard guy not to like because he was just a down-home fella that you just felt like, man, I'd like to go spend an afternoon with that guy. I'd like to go on a walk with Bobby Bowden. I think that'd be a fun time to do that. He was back in Omaha a couple of years ago for the Outland Trophy Banquet, where they have now had this newly created award, the Tom Osborne Lifetime Achievement Award. Bobby won it, and he was fantastic. He was telling stories and telling tales. You talked about other coaches saying things. There's a video out now with Nick Saban, the Alabama coach, who said that Nick was a assistant coach at Kent State, and his dad passed away. And Nick grew up close to Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where West Virginia was, and Bobby was the head coach there. Bobby wrote him a note and said, I heard your dad passed. I feel for your mom. If it would be easier for you to come back closer to home, I've got a spot on my staff. You can come back and coach with me. And Nick Saban said, wow, who does that? I mean, he goes, we're getting close for a season. I'm just a lowly assistant at Kent State. He's at West Virginia, much bigger school. He offered me a chance to come home so I could be near my mom.
That's
a cool thing.
Yeah. Just his coaching tree, too, all the people that have been touched and impacted that he's that have, you know, spurred off of what he started, too. Yeah, just one of those great human beings. I feel like Tom Osborne is one of those as well, that a lot of people, it's like you really don't want to like him as an opponent, but you just can't not like him. Well,
and my goodness, the run he had of just successful teams after successful teams, going to be hard to duplicate for some people. And, you know, I've kidded Coach Osborne about this in the past, Jessica. I said, you know, you ruined it for any future Husker coach because you win 3 national titles in 4 years. That won't happen here again. You'd like to think it could, but odds are that it won't. I go, you just ruined it for people. Bobby kind of did that for Florida State, too. He set the bar so high, it's going to be hard for other coaches to get up and look at
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher's already left because he couldn't quite reach that pinnacle.
And he won a national title, but he couldn't win 3 or couldn't win what Coach Bowden did. Yeah, he was gone, and you would have thought maybe Jimbo could have kind of maybe carried on that kind of legacy, but even, you know, he couldn't do it either. Yeah. So sad to see that news that Bobby passed over the weekend, and just such an icon. And Husker fans have such a reverence for people that do great things for college sports, and in particular college football. So I know that they have a soft spot in their heart for Bobby Bowden, kind of a one-of-a-kind character for college football. Those handwritten letters are just so impactful.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? You know, and there were tales that Florida State used to play a lot of night games because it's hot in Florida in September when college football begins. Bobby would let reporters come down on the sideline late in games and get quotes because he knew they were writing up a deadline. He goes, you guys come on down. I'll give you a couple quotes on the sideline because usually his team was killing somebody because they're playing, Cupcake U those first couple of weeks. So these reporters would saunter on down there a couple minutes ago in the game, get their quotes before the game ended. How about that?
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's crazy.
We were talking last hour about NIL a little bit, and we brought up the young man who left high school early, Quinn Ewers, who was a soon-to-be high school senior down in the Austin, Texas area. He's going to go to Ohio State now. He has apparently signed his first NIL endorsement.
Wow.
He has signed a deal with a 45-second advertisement on his Twitter page for Holy Kombucha. It's a Texas-based drink. Have you ever heard of it? I've never heard of it.
Kombucha is it's like an energy type drink.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So they've signed him on to do something, so he's put out a little thing on his Twitter account, so he's already earning money. I was the one going, who's going to give this guy much? Now, it wasn't his home state, wasn't somebody in Ohio or somebody connected there, but he's already earning a few dollars from a hometown company.
But you can't earn money as a high school student athlete. We have, I guess, the National Federation of High Schools have put that out, that high school students cannot earn money. So that's probably, even though it's from his hometown, even if he was still there, he couldn't get paid for it.
But he must have known that was there, and that's why he jumped out, left high school early, and now he's in Columbus competing for that spot. He was at that South Lake Carroll, which has just produced player after player after player. It's one of the powerhouse programs in the country. So he's off to Ohio State. He's got his first NIL deal in the books. We'll see. We'll see if that's the only one he gets, but he's now on his way to try to compete and be the Buckeyes starting quarterback moving forward. I wish him luck. I don't think he will be, but we'll see.
Got a couple here in the chat room. Any idea when Creighton versus Husker volleyball tickets go on sale?
Well, the game is at Creighton. I would imagine you go to the Creighton website. My guess is they are already on sale, I would think. That match is in about a month. So I would think definitely I would go to the Creighton box office or look at Ticketmaster or one of those things, StubHub. Maybe you'll be able to find something like that.
And then will Nebraska use Yant or Step like a fullback so that way Scott or Irvin can be our main running backs?
There's the old fullback question. We get those all the time around Husker football. I don't know. My guess is if they go with a fullback, it would be more of a tight end lining up at that spot than it would be Yant or Step. But those two guys certainly have the body style of a fullback. And Husker fans, they love a lot of things. The fullback is one of them. Unfortunately, Scott Frost's offense doesn't employ that very often.
Yant looks like he could also play on the defensive line.
Yes, he does. He is a big guy. Anything else in there we need to address?
I think that's about it. Just a couple comments about Bobby Bowden. And, just trying to keep up with it here. So,
all right. 402-413-2400. Still time if you want to jump in there and fire us something. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Still time for you to be a part of the program here tonight. We're back to do some more of that, and we'll name our weekend winners. That's coming up next as well.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. But we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it. The confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you for a few more minutes here on our Monday night show. If you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. Husker football with a day off today. They scrimmaged yesterday. You have to take one day off a week, so this is their day off. And then they're going to get kind of into a game week routine starting this weekend. They'll take next Sunday off, which will be their normal day off during the season. So they're going to kind of get into that starting this next weekend. But they'll be back on the practice field tomorrow. We'll hear from some defensive coaches, including Eric Chinander, the defensive coordinator, tomorrow after the practice. We'll give you a full report tomorrow night here on the program. So
I was telling someone one more Monday before game week Monday.
That's exactly right. Yeah. How about that?
That's awesome.
How about that? Yeah.
Love that. Just one more non-game week fun Monday.
Love it. I love it. And we're inside of 2 weeks from the red-white scrimmage for volleyball, so it is fast approaching for all of us. I'm sure the guys, when they woke up this morning and saw how darn hot it was out, were probably like, whoo, thank goodness we don't have to go put pads on today.
Yeah. I do want to bring up a point because we had someone text about former players coming around, and there were some former players, some former greats that got to check out the scrimmage yesterday, and Coach Frost talked to them after at the teammates luncheon about how important that is to have those former players come around and be around the team. So I thought that was awesome. It made me think of when that guy had asked us about it. I think it was last week, at the end of last week. So wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. I was reading up on Bobby Bowden some more during the break. We talked about his passing over the weekend. How about this? 15 straight appearances in New Year's Day bowl games. 15 straight. That's crazy. I mean, those are the best bowls you can get to. 15 straight years of that high level. 27 straight bowl appearances for his teams at FSU. He led his teams to 14 straight seasons with 10 wins or more. Just a remarkable, remarkable career. And just a gentleman of a guy that college football is certainly going to miss. On our text line, will football team have another scrimmage this Saturday? The answer to that is yes, they will. They won't be able to use the stadium. The stadium's going to be occupied, Jessica.
Hey, we're going to be on the air on Friday during Garth Brooks' sound check.
How about that?
And I'm pretty sure some of our cameras have already been moved where we can't use it, or else we would bring it to you guys on the YouTube stream. We would do that for you.
Will we be able to hear it in here? Probably no, probably not.
We can just open up the doors, and maybe it'll come through the doors.
Heard he was
there we go. See that camera right there?
There's your shot. Yeah.
So
we can't see the stage, though, for that. We can see the stadium, but we can't see the stage.
Yeah, but they won't allow for us to show any of the sound check. But that would be awesome, though.
That would be cool. I heard he was fantastic in Kansas City over the weekend at Arrowhead, and now he's coming here, and that's it. He's put the rest of the tour on pause because of the COVID outbreak.
And I think it's going to be so awesome to see a concert packed out inside Memorial Stadium.
Somebody was asking about a mask mandate, what the latest, and it could change. This is Monday. The concert is not until Saturday. But if you're unvaccinated, they are recommending you wear a mask.
Yep.
Now, they could make that stricter by Saturday, so that's not the final word. You'll have to continue listening to the health authorities, and we'll publicize that if we have that here. But I'm told that hotel space is like gone in town. You've got hotel rates have gone way up. It's going to be a big boon economically for the town.
That's awesome for Lincoln. And give fans a little practice since they missed a year of being in the stadium before the first home game.
No doubt.
I'll bet Garth is going to be I'll bet he is blown away by, I know he's played in front of rowdy crowds, but has he played in front of one this big?
Well, I think the Arrowhead one was close to that, but he was in Lincoln, might have been 2017, and he did like 8 shows at PBA.
Wow.
8.
Wow.
He did 2 a day for like 4 or 5 days in a row. Crazy.
Huh.
The man has unbelievable energy. He's not young anymore. He's in his 50s.
Doesn't he have a song, Much Too Young to Feel? Is that
Something
his
like
song?
that.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's right. Yeah.
What would you say is the #1 Garth song? Because I'm going to have some fun tomorrow, and I hope
Friends in Low Places.
Well, okay, besides that one. Sorry, I should have prefaced that.
Thunder Rolls?
Thunder Rolls, okay.
Probably would be number 2.
We're going to have some fun with the student athletes tomorrow. With some Garth trivia.
Good.
And so I was interested to hear your take on what would be number 2.
I think those are probably the top 2, but folks may have some other thoughts about that. All right, time to name our weekend winners. Want to lead us off? You want me to go first? What do you got?
You can go first.
All right, I'm going former Husker Jake Myers got his first major league hit. Almost had a home run. Hit off the top of the fence for the Astros on Sunday. So he's not only in the show, now he has a hit. I'm sure they saved the ball for him. So happy for Jake. Hope that's the first of many, many more for him in the big league. So really happy for Jake Myers, former Husker, now a member of the Houston Astros.
I'm going to go with the Team USA women, the ladies getting it done over the weekend, the USA women's basketball team, the USA volleyball team, of course, with the former Huskers, but also on the track because, there were however many gold medals that were won. The men, it took them until the very last event, the 4x400, to win one gold medal.
Yeah.
All of them won by women. And Allison Felix
phenomenal.
Was a part of that 4x400 meter relay team that won gold and passed Carl Lewis for the most track and field medals ever by an American athlete. Probably will never see an athlete like that again on the track.
She eclipsed Carl Lewis's 10
Yep.
on the track. So great career for her. What'd they say her first games were 04?
Yes, in
04.
Athens, right?
17 years to be at that level as a sprinter is unheard of. I mean, that is just really, really difficult to do.
And what was cool about it, too, is that she's had a daughter since then and wanted to show her daughter,
what
you
kind
can
of a champion
do. And
she
so it
was.
was really, really big for her to come back and do that this time around as a mom.
Yeah, very, very good. The Italian sprinters on the men's side were really good. They did some really. They won. They had a guy win the 100, and then they won the 4x100 relay, which usually that's kind of either a United States or the Jamaicans with Usain Bolt, who I miss him. I missed him. I missed not having him at these games. He was such a bright, bright star for all those years. But, the Italians, who you don't think of as sprinters. Somebody says The Dance might be your number 2 song for Garth.
Got lots of them on here. Thunder Rolls, The Dance, That Summer, and Shameless. So
those are down the list a little bit. They're good, but they're down the list a little bit. So
yeah, he's got several, but I will probably pick about 3 or 4. And
is he too old for the current student athletes? I mean, what do they think? Because I'm sure that not a lot of them are walking around listening to Garth.
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
You do. I just don't know.
We'll find out tomorrow. But I asked Andrew this earlier, our producer.
Yeah,
Andrew,
he's young,
and he did not know any of the. He knew after I started singing "Friends in Low Places," he knew that song, but he didn't know that Gar sang that song.
That was Gar's song.
Yeah. So
I think
sorry, Andrew, calling you out.
I think it'll be a little bit older crowd, honestly, at the concert.
I don't know. I mean, there could be some youngins just to check out the atmosphere and a cool concert.
Crash the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Garth is, in my view, kind of timeless. But yeah, that's cool. Good stuff. Have fun. Just all student athletes? Who are you talking to?
Well, whoever's going to be at the training table at lunch.
So whoever you catch at lunch.
So, yeah, it'll be fun. We'll have some fun with it.
We have time to tell you that our Sports Sunday Hotline has been brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Huskers back on the practice field tomorrow. We'll hear from defensive coordinator Eric Chinander tomorrow night on the program. Get his take on what the scrimmage looked like yesterday and how practice 10 goes tomorrow. That's going to put a wrap on tonight's show. My thanks to Jessica, to Mike, to Andrew, and to all of you for being a part of the program tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. Stay cool. We'll talk more Garth tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member